he's New Zealander, so it has to be. This is Gin Willis.
Gin Willis.
You have to get the accent
back
right.
Back to square one. How I get into that is always square one.
More Gun
Wallaby. Gun Dingo ate my baby.
What's the vampire version?
Dingo ate my wallaby.
Gunter Valis.
Yes.
Monster, suck your nipples.
Gunvala.
Oh, that was a twist. That was a twist, guys. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, my God.
I know, I just throw them out there. You got to catch them.
Catch all of your nipples.
Oh,
I'll taste it.
Don't tweak. Pet.
Okay, Baines.
It's rude. It hurts.
Hello and welcome to Quackcast number 288, Evoking Emotion number 2. That's going to be the title, and I'm Ozone Ocean, and with me is Baines. Hello, Baines.
Hello, Ozone Ocean.
See, I didn't call you lovely or handsome or any of those kind of things because I was being a bit better this time, but now I've just spoiled it by referring to it. Oh, well. And with us, we have the fantastic Tanserine. Hello, fantastic Tanserine.
Hello, wonderful Oz.
Thank you. And perhaps we have the pervert, Pit, peeking in on us from the shadows. Do we have Pit? Awesome.
I like to watch. That was good.
All of us are here. This is magnificent. Doesn't happen very often.
No.
All right, and we're going to talk about a sequel to last week's Crackcast about evoking emotion, and we're going to add some community input into it because I created a thread and some people wrote some things, so we'll do that. And maybe if we have time, we'll get into what Hippie Van said about it as well, which was trying not to evoke emotion, which is interesting. All right.
Wait, try. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah.
Well, Baines, go into it.
No, nothing. I was just going to say, no, it's fine. Please go on. I'm
Right.
still waking up, I guess. Yeah.
So before we get into all that, we have to do the featured comic, which is by Jinjoke. And Jinjoke did a 3D comic, which is great because I'm not so great at featuring 3D comics. And he did one, and this is called something about dragons. It's called
Dragon Ball Z?
Dragon Ball A. That was the first one. They hadn't got around to it yet. No, it's Dragons in...
How to Train Your Dragon?
Oh,
Yes, Baines. Jeez, how did you know?
Enter the Dragon?
Enter the dragon? From which direction?
Don't go there.
This dragon enters you! Ah! Oh, it's
Exit
too
the
late.
Dragon. Which was a great...
See, you
album.
yelled at Oz, but you didn't account for me, so...
Exit the Dragon was a great album by Urge Overkill back when they were a band in the 90s. So, buy that. Buy it. Alright. It's called Dragons in Civilized Lands. So, take it away, Mr. Jinjo.
Hello, this is Jinjoke. This week I've chosen to feature the comic Dragons in Civilized Lands by Robert R. Veith. The story follows Tani Vey, a singer whose life has changed when she is kidnapped to be part of a magical quest, along with a band of other unwilling adventurers. It's an epic sword and sorcery adventure in the vein of black and white comics of the 70s and 80s, with a touch of Dungeons and Dragons thrown in for good measure. It doesn't seek to parody the genre or to reinvent the wheel, but rather to pay homage to the roots of the genre. The plot doesn't take long to get into the action and introduce the cast of varied characters. They aren't anything you wouldn't expect in a genre like this. As I said, it's very much a homage to the genre, so expect wizards, clerics, archers, warriors, and bards. The art is 3D rendered and filtered to give it a black and white inked look, which is quite effective, and it honestly looks like it belongs in an old newspaper. This may help it appeal to those who aren't too keen on 3D comics. It updates every Monday, and I urge you to check it out. That's Dragons and Civilized Lands by Robert Harvey.
Alright, that was the Dragons and Civilized Lands by the person who did it. And
Jinjo, his first appearance on the Quackcast, or no, his second?
Second.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Right
he already gave us a great feature. This is his second one. So, thank you, Jinjo, for giving us that awesome feature. Right.
Well, it was my pleasure, wasn't it? All right. I've got to go now.
It's all bollocks.
Isn't it? Jenny Yoke? That's how you say his name.
Hey,
Jenny Yoke.
Jenny, okay?
you could be on to
Yeah.
something, yeah. Jenny Yoke. That was Jenny Yoke with Dragons and Civilized Lands. Thank you, Jenny Yoke. Alright, next up we have...
Like an Asian woman.
I thought it sounded like Abbott Nihil's name. Joachim.
Yeah, it sounded a little bit German,
yeah.
didn't it?
He's got that
Joachim.
Joachim. Jenny Yoke.
Alright, next up we have the music that Gunwallace has given us, and the music this week is The Weird Adventures of Armless Amy. It's a tough... You read that comic?
I love that comic, yes.
Which is a strange little comic.
It very much is that thing you just said, yes.
Great comic.
What happened? Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, very cool.
The music it's touching, it's evocative, and it sounds like it's setting up to reveal something like a horrible mystery to us. So enjoy Adventures of Armless Amy by Jinjo.
Hello, I'm Jinjo, and here's my band, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, Gunwallace. Never mind. It's Gunwallace, not Jinjo. Oh, hey there. This is Gunwallace.
And that was Gunwallace with The Adventures of Armless Amy, which is a comic by Amalok One. Amalok One. Remember
That's
that.
right. Very odd name. Yeah.
Rated M. Okay, evoking emotion. Now, this is an interesting topic. We got onto this last week. So the idea was that you want to try and evoke emotion, and it's a lot harder when you're drawing it, you're doing a comic, rather than, say, if you're writing a book, it's a bit easier because you got 10 million pages in order to write about it, but in a comic you've just got one page basically, at a time, or maybe one little strip at a time, and you've got to do it almost in pictures because you can't fill it up with text. So you've got a limited space for dialogue, no descriptive stuff at all, and then you've got to make all your descriptive stuff with images. So evoking emotion is a bit more limited than, say, a novel writer or a filmmaker, whereas a filmmaker can design the whole experience around whatever they want it to be. It's all linear. You've got
and you've got music.
the sound effects, lighting, color, timing, everything like that. Whereas with a comic, the time is infinite, and it's harder to direct people in specific ways that you want them to, follow. So that's what we talked about. And now we have the community weighing in with their muscular elbows, elbowing in and giving us their ideas. And speaking of which, that Bravo is first up. So, Baines, would you like to take on the role of Bravo?
All right.
Bravo.
Yourself up.
Bravo.
All right, Bravo. Come on. Close the book on this subject. For God's sake.
He tries to, believe me.
Body language does not communicate words. So it says a whole lot less than words. It communicates emotion and feeling. It's there and so subtle, and some people spend their whole lives in insensitive ignorance. But a reader or a viewer can and does pick up on it, and creators should use it as a shorthand to evoke an emotional response. Slumped shoulders can imply so much that an author could spend pages describing. But the guy won the battle. But his shoulders are slumped. Disappointment. Somehow something didn't turn out the way it was supposed to. Eyes. They are the window to the soul. I made up that expression. The size of the eyes, wide, narrow, and the attitude of the eyebrows speak volumes. And in comics, you can exaggerate them. I have an expressive face, and often when taken unawares, my face says everything. If you can read a face, you can pick up when someone is lying. There are things a person does without knowing it. Nonverbal cues are often unconscious. It takes practice to fake and hide them, don't you know? Not everyone is a good actor. You, as a creator, control everything, so your characters can give away things that no real person ever would. You can exaggerate and manipulate the reactions of your characters to evoke feelings that are emotional shorthand, not the long, drawn-out process of personal interaction that happens in real life. Ever he replaced his social circle with his own characters? Is that what he's getting at?
I think so.
We need to help.
There's a reason for the dolls, Baines.
The cry for help. Yeah. Ever look at someone and their shoulders, walk, and facial expression tell their entire life history, and you can find yourself tearing up? That's what you want to do to your audience. Evoke a non-verbal response, an emotion, something someone can't describe so easily. You want to reach into the audience's chest and pull out their still beating heart. He didn't say still beating heart. And pull out their heart and run for their hanky. And then add color, or lack thereof, and you can make a reader feel whatever you want to. William Cameron Menzies was a master. The whole color palette means different things. Oh, I'm sorry, I need a drink. Just pour that. Oh, delicious. Mr. Menzies, yes, the whole color palette means different things, and Technicolor was just fabulous for wrapping an audience around your little finger. Remember, this is fiction, not real life. Things can be exaggerated. Things can be plain and obvious. You are trying to use the least amount of words and pictures for the most impact. So you have to choose carefully, and things can happen quickly and purposely, the exact opposite of long drawn-out affairs in real life. You want to use non-verbal clues to make things more apparent than they are in real life because you are telling a story. Follow up.
Well done, Baines. Well done. That was a long post. You made it through.
Yes, I feel like I was bubbling at the corners of my mouth. I hope I wasn't bubbling.
It was hidden by your
Yes,
mustache.
Rabid with adoration.
Frothing at the mouth, you were. Frothing.
Yeah, exactly. I was furious. I tried to keep it.
But you tried to keep it hidden, but your body language was far too expressive.
Yeah. Watch the
Body
shoulders.
language.
Watch the shoulders. You'll have everything.
You learned from Bravo.
Yes.
Excellent. Well,
That's good. Yeah, it's good stuff by the Brav.
so what do you guys think about that? I think it depends on skill of the artist, though, doesn't it? I'm crap at body language and depicting that. My characters move around like wooden dolls, so I'm not an expert at that. But say Pitt and Tons, you guys are great at body language for your characters. Always very expressive.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they are.
I think that was
I mean, I agree that it's important. Yeah.
Your characters are realistic, and when they have body language, you can think of like real people doing it. Bane's, your character's a bit more exaggerated and stylized, but still, you get the body language as well in that because you
sometimes
get freedom to do that with your the stylization deliberately worked into the characters. So I'm often impressed by that kind of thing.
Well, thank you. And sometimes they stand behind a counter, so you don't have to draw all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it depends.
But I agree, it's important. Yeah, it helps.
It does. It does. Tons?
Tens?
Yeah, I think that it really depends on where you where you invest to have the emotional engagement that you want. Like I have read manga that have like huge eyes, and does nothing for me because they are a little bit like glassy, lifeless orbs of sparkliness, and yeah, it doesn't really do a lot. But but yeah, definitely. I mean, I have seen a lot of other comics where the eyes are where the emotionality lies, and I often use the eyes and eyebrows to do that, mostly because I don't feel very confident with my anatomy in the rest of it, but I try. Also, the other thing.
That's sorry. Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yes,
That's
definitely.
interesting about eyebrows, because I kind of, when I first started doing my characters in the comic, and before that, I don't think even when I first started like doing like sort of little animated things, I left out the eyebrows for no reason except for that's what they do in Futurama, and I guess The Simpsons too. But I remember them saying like they don't have eyebrows on their characters unless it's like an evil character. It's very rare for any of the characters to have eyebrows. So I just thought...
But they use the upper lid, the eyelid. They use the eyelid as an eyebrow, like it has like the shape.
Yes, yeah, exactly. They create the shape with the eyelid. So I thought I would do the same thing. And lately I added in the eyebrows. I thought it would, I don't know, just to give it a little more, to have a little more of what's there. And I'm not even totally sure why, but I wasn't sure why I left them out either. So I was like, so I just put them in. But anyway. Yeah, I like working with eyebrows. But anyway, just want to say that.
Go on, Tons.
Yeah, no, the other thing I wanted to say was that the other node of expression and emotionality is the hands. Like if you...
Oh, yeah.
I have noticed a lot. I mean, I like using my characters' hands to convey more than they do with their face sometimes, especially for the characters that are emotionally constipated. It's their hands that will convey more than their face, because they are usually very stoic. And I hate that, but they are stoic. So their hands, like if they are, the hand is rolled up into a fist, or if there is some kind of impatience.
They're closed off or they're open.
Yeah. Or the way they are gesticulating as they are talking, if they are, or what, I mean, if they are playing around with a cigarette, because it's the 40s and everyone smokes. Mm-hmm. So often I use the hands just as much as I use the facial expression.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just shoulders. It's the hands. Especially if you agree.
Poor Bravo. We're gonna mock him.
Even if you have like a...
Go
What's
ahead.
that?
What happened?
Oh.
Oh my God. She's falling. She's falling.
I forgot what I was saying.
I was just checking.
Just leave me behind.
I was checking through my comic, as I do, like in a very narcissistic way, to see what I've done with my expressions and stuff. And I noticed in my latest story that I do attempt the whole body language thing, but in a really exaggerated, cartoonish way, which is quite at odds with my normal style. So my characters look weird and cartoony with exaggerated eyebrows and facial expressions and hands and arms flopping all over the place like Muppets.
Like Kermit.
Exactly. Exactly. So it appears that in the long history of Pinky TA that I had attempted that, and I had forgotten all about it. So there you are. Not entirely successfully. Now that's interesting because I'm not like expert at this. So the way I go about it is rather, obvious, which is, not like Pitt and Tarns do it in a very realistic way. It's because I'm not familiar with it. I do it in a very super obvious way, and it shows. I'm not very subtle in those movements. I'm trying to be, but that's what I do. All right, we have.
It's okay.
I'll get better.
We'll be all right.
Eventually.
Yeah.
We have Kim Luster next, and she says, "Interesting topic. I'm pretty good at making myself temporarily feel a particular emotion I want to convey. So I imagine the emotion and then look in the mirror that I keep nearby and draw that, exaggerated of course, as Bravo suggests, unless it's a big scream of anger or pain. It's too hard to hold my face flat like that. I'll just look those images up. And that is interesting, yeah. I mean, getting the mirror to work your expressions from is something, I try every now and again, but you can't really hold that for too long, can you? As long as it takes a draw, you sort of, for me anyway, you sort of just glance at your expression and sort of take a snapshot in your mind of how it looks and then try and draw it. You don't like...
Mm-hmm. Or you take a selfie, or am I the only one that does that?
I don't do that.
I've done it too.
Yeah? Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with it?
Nothing at all. It's just, for me, that just takes too long to do, take a selfie, then upload it to your computer or whatever, and then open it up and put it on another screen. And...
Yeah, because you pump out comic book pages like nothing. You have no time for taking a selfie, do you?
No time for that. Jesus.
Man, I'm sorry.
My comics would take 3 years if I had to do that. Gee, I had that extra complication. I'd need to be as fast and as streamlined as I possibly can get. I'm shaving off like months by not doing that. You should thank me. No, that is a good idea, taking a selfie of your expressions, yeah. But I would normally use a mirror, I think. That's what I would do. Just glance at that. Because, we all have our different ways of doing it.
Yeah, Google Image works too. I mean, especially because people don't have the same expression for the same emotion. So you might want to look at a range of different ways the same emotion is how the people emote differently. I mean, like an old man with X amount of experience would probably express surprise in a different way than a child.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you might want, I mean, Google Image works great as well to give a range so that you get a feel of how you want your character to emote and be consistent. Yeah, to his or her personality.
Like a child will
That's a good
screw
idea.
their face up in an exaggerated way when they're crying or they're upset, but you don't want to. If your lead character is a very sophisticated, attractive lady, you don't want her screwing her face up like a frog, sucking a lemon, because that'll destroy the illusion. So,
It was pretty potent imagery there, Oz.
so you've got to, you don't want her looking like a smashed crab. So you've got to, you got to handle that carefully.
Or maybe you do want her looking like a smashed crab, and you can only
That
do
might
a
work.
certain way.
Yeah.
Well,
Smash crap.
make her a lot less sexy, sure.
Yeah, sometimes you might want your characters to cry ugly, like not the manly tear that they're all down the
A single tear going down the strong, chiseled cheek.
Yeah.
You want them with like rivers of snot coming down their nose and into their
Yes.
mouth, like Baines right now. The mouth all screwed up. Oh, God, that's hilarious. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I do think that if you can make a character like ugly cry, it might get across more than just
Keep that in
throwing a couple of
mind.
tears.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, God, that's hilarious. All right.
What I do a lot is having characters, like a lot of my characters, and sometimes this is my go-to, and it shouldn't always be, but for a lot of them, it's like characters feeling a certain way, but hiding it, but still showing it to the readers. But it's kind of what you're talking about. Like, it's a subtle, they sort of don't admit, and they don't say how they feel either usually. So it's a lot of like facial expression and kind of, the big sad eyes as they say, "Oh yeah, that's fine," or whatever.
Quivering bottom lip.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you can't have a quivering lip without, or I don't know how to do it anyway.
Oh, you just put vibration lines, like bouncy breasts.
Yeah.
Lines. Come on.
Yeah, and the chin, you make like a squiggly line for the chin as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Very.
That would be overkill, I think. But like, I try to keep it like just a small, like the face betrays it, but
subtle and British.
and the body language too, I guess. Although I'm not as great at
Stiff
doing
upper lip,
the body language thing. Yeah, like I like kind of that, like the emotions there, but they're not showing the other. Like a great actor, you see like a lot of those kind of scenes where you can see the emotion, but they're not saying or showing really, but yet they are showing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's tough, but
A good actor. That's a good
Like
idea.
the quiet pain or rage or thing.
yeah,
Things like that.
it's like I can get through it. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Oh, God. The Japanese used to love
the
that in
next
their
day,
drama. What's that, Dance?
But they're saying, no, I can do this, I'm okay, and the next frame they just, blow up.
Yes. The Japanese love that in their classical drama. That is like a pure... The British love to think they invented the stiff upper lip, but the Japanese mastered the stone face thing. That is theirs. That the British don't even know. That is a Japanese thing. They love it.
Yeah.
Whole culture devoted to that. Stiff upper face. It's not stiff upper lip.
Stiff upper face.
They mastered it. Right, next up we have Salem Warlock 676. Oh my God, that's a Fantastic name. Oh, Pete, I think that's you.
Didn't we have used books right after Kim last time?
Yeah, did we skip used books,
We
or was I
did.
gone that
Oh,
long?
damn, that means it's you, Tans.
I should have today. Okay. Okay. Do I have to? I cannot act. Okay, so
You can do what you like, Tans.
I'll pretend to be a Greek person.
I wish you luck with that.
Stretch.
The simplified and exaggerated, along with colors and angles, convey emotion so much more effectively than realism. I feel drama, sorrow, suspense, and joy far more intensely when reading graphic novels or watching animation than I ever do from live action, and more from simplified style than detailed or realistic. We can criticize the bizarre proportions and style of mainstream anime or Disney, but some of that is very effective. There is some psychological basis to design protagonists very simply. Apparently, we see simple forms as the me character to empathize with. More detailed figures and environments are more outside the self. In comics, layout can help too. Horizontal panels lend a feeling of stability. Angled or more vertical are off balance and / or active. You can break out of panels for impact and action. Oh, and fewer words. When I want emotional impact at its strongest, I drop the dialogue or use the fewest and most poignant phrasing.
Oh, that's a good
Yes, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's something after last week's Quackcast I realized that I have no techniques for doing this except for one, that I see or that I sometimes use. It's the silent panel after a scene. No dialogue, no nothing. So it kind of forces the person to look at the panel, to look at the kind of the character.
Yeah.
So, yeah, makes it, that works in film too, they have that silent, hold.
Yeah.
I like the simplification thing too. Yeah.
It's a break panel, yeah, and you just
Yeah,
gives the reader
it
time
makes
to
you look.
contemplate.
Yeah.
Introspection.
Yes.
That's it. That's the word.
Just a beat. It's like sort of just says very strongly that, something's going on here. So it makes you look at the image as Ozone Ocean shaves. Is Hit Face shaving? Is that what that is?
Yes.
You're okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't
Oh,
see.
they
That's
look great.
below the screen. So
Well, no, it's just the armpits.
I see what you did there.
Pit.
I see what you
I'm
did.
sorry. I need more coffee. I can do better. I know I can be funnier.
you need more wine, Bones. That's what you need.
Yeah.
What you said about panels off center, angles. You did. You
So
talked about
true,
that
man.
last week, actually.
Yeah, we did. We were talking about Pitsy and like those angled panels and how they
yeah.
really energize everything, and it looks
Me?
so good. Yeah, no, truly, we talked about you, and
You're a
Not
master.
just,
We agreed in that Quackcast that Pitt, you are the master of the emotional, evocative emotional panels because you do angles and weird kind of crap with your panels all over the place. It's incredible.
yeah.
Oh, thanks a
they
lot,
look
dude.
really cool. Hey,
That's actually
weak.
That's very, very true.
Compliment was not an invitation to tweak. Stop it.
Oh, what the fuck
Oh.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
nipples, bang. She
Don't
loves
admit
That's
it.
how that's how we say thank you in America.
I know, but that hurts a little bit. I'm
In
just saying.
Americanese. Well,
Yeah.
There's nothing coming
This
out of
means
those
I like
nipples, Pitt. I mean, no matter how much you tweak.
Just
milk them like a cow.
just a little blood. That's all. Ouchies.
That's how she likes it.
Now I've got some pepperonis for my pizza.
But yeah, Pitt, your panels are exceptional.
Pit panels, we call them.
The pit
That's what we
panels.
always call them.
Dirty, I like it.
That's something like you want to look at and you want to copy. You want to emulate that. So I'll be watching your panels closely.
Hmm.
No, I'll have my eye
Thank
on
you.
Up close and personal.
Open up the frock of the panel.
Oh,
Next up, we have Salem Warlock 767 doing a very short post.
All right. I got this. Everybody step back. I got this. I will wrangle this. And it won't be shoddy like Tange's so-called Greek accent. Okay?
That didn't sound Greek at all. It was
I'm sorry,
well read, but did not
I
convince me.
tried. I did my best.
Sound Italian to me. Fuck.
Why don't you go
That's
like
so
worship the
fun.
Dolce or something? Okay. So I think because of the name, it's only appropriate that I bring out the black metal for this one. So here we go. Okay. The way that I try is to mainly with body language and wait. Yeah, that's what he's saying. I don't know what he's saying. The way I try to is mainly with body language. I change up the line work to facial along with the body system images what it usually is assuming to see first. The positions or colors schemes get out.
Wow, you raced through that.
Wow.
Should I? I'm just gonna read it regular for a second because, yeah. I mean,
that's
it's
fine.
you don't know what those guys are saying. It's the way I try to is mainly with body language and change up line work on facial along with the body, since the image is what usually I'm assuming is seen first, and positions or color schemes can help.
Okay, that was a pretty like a straightforward way to get into it, wasn't it? So he does the body language first, changes up the line work and facial along with the body. Yeah, that's just gets into it in a very kind of simple, straightforward way. Whereas we're kind of just going all over the place. I'll try this and this and this and that and that, and he's just full.
And then sacrifice to Satan!
On the Black Sabbath. So Salem Warlock 767 has, I don't think he's done a Quackcast thing before, so I'll mention Salem has a comic called The Day Before January, or The Days Before January, and it's a lovely black and white comic that's mainly done with marker, and it's photographed instead of scanned. So there we are. Alright, next up we have Baines. No, we have Bravo, which is pretty much the same thing. Baines, I'd turn you on your microphone. That would be a good first step.
Yes.
I turned it off again. I'm sorry. I was saying some really, really brilliant things. Or so I'm going to claim. Where? Italian cinema and spaghetti westerns. Wait, I'm going into Dracula. Never mind. I can't do it. Italian cinema and spaghetti westerns. Long shots to extreme close-up and often stoic expressions that mean everything. Actions, glances and stoicism that speaks volumes. Sergio Leone was a master of understatement that means so much and can evoke a very emotional response once the tension is broken. Very visual.
Yeah, those Sergio Leone films.
Yeah. That's true. In those, it's like the extreme wide shots and then the extreme...
Yeah.
I also think that the music helped a lot
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
with it was coupled really well.
Who's that dude who does all that music? And those Sergio Leone music? He's the beloved. Everyone loves.
An Italian guy.
Morricone.
That's
Yes.
it.
Ennio. Yeah.
Enrico or Ennio
And Enrico.
Morricone.
Ennio.
Yeah. Ennio.
Yes.
Ennio Morricone.
Enya? No, it wasn't.
Say the way. Say the
You're
way.
mistaken.
That was really nice to see how that sounded.
Yeah.
Sail away, sail away.
It's a brilliant example. Those films, my God, are the close-ups of the squinty brown faces with their little their eyes and their sweat coming down the crow's feet around Eastwood's eyes.
Yeah, excellent example there.
He overdoes
Or
it a bit,
echoing.
and he uses it too much. You know, he overuses it. He uses it again and again and again, but it works. It's brilliant. I love looking at that stuff. And then switching from eyes to eyes, you know, like Clint Eastwood's eyes and then the bad guy's eyes.
Yeah.
It lends itself to spoof, but it works beautifully. Yeah, I love it. I've tried to do that kind of thing in my comics actually on occasion too. Very amateurishly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I try.
I haven't tried it. Although that book we were talking... never mind. We already talked about it.
I need the music. That's
Yes,
the
I
thing.
agree.
It doesn't work without Ennio Morricone.
Right.
Everything needs to have that.
Well, it works, but it gives completely different emotional reactions.
Right.
Everything needs that music. Shit, my whole life needs to have him doing the soundtrack to it. Then it would be awesome.
You could just stand still for a long time and let the music...
Exactly. Wouldn't it be so badass if, you know, you walked into a room or something and that music just started playing for you?
It would.
Then everyone would look at you and think, wow, that's a badass. That's it. Don't want to mess with him. You need that kind of thing. The good, the bad, the ugly track should be my permanent soundtrack wherever I go. Sitting on the toilet and that starts playing. Some bad shit is going down, literally. Oh, Christ. Okay. Next up we have Hippie Van to tell us about the whole opposite of the evoking emotion. So who should we get to read this?
Pit face!
No.
Ozone Ocean!
All right, I'll do Hippie. Okay, she's going to be Neil from the Young Ones. This sort of thing is the opposite of the question that you asked, but I find myself trying to limit how much emotion I invoke sometimes. My comic is meant to be kind of lighthearted and silly, and too much sad stuff doesn't suit the tone, man. You know, it really gets me down. But at the same time, there has to be some conflict to keep the story going and interesting. My current approach is just adding dumb little jokes whenever I feel like things are getting too serious and heavy. You know, man, it's just too boring, so I just don't do it. Well, that was too American to be Neil, but it was a hippie nevertheless. So yeah, hippie tries to keep it light, and she tries
Keeping
not
it light.
to keep it heavy. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, when you don't want it heavy, you don't want to invoke emotion. You want to like crack a joke. It's like one of those annoying people, me basically, when you're trying to be serious with someone and they just keep cracking jokes and laughing and laughing it off like it's all a joke, and you can never have a serious heart-to-heart with these people. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Who are these people? What I always say.
But if that's what you want, yeah, that can be a thing, you know, to keep the tone light. Do you guys ever have a problem with that? If you're trying to keep the tone light and you don't want to make it heavy, how do you avoid getting the...
I never have that problem.
No. Without Moonlight, we'll just go down, and then it will go down.
Yeah, it's not
below that. Mining all the way down. But Putrid Meat and like the The Adventures of Blitzoff. The Marvelous Adventures of Blitzoff, which is your other comic. The Magical Marvelous Adventures of Blitzoff. Now,
The Adventures of Armless Blitzoff.
now this comic
You
is
say marvelous?
Armless.
simply marvelous.
Marvelous.
It's not a serious comic. It's a comic with a very light tone. Do you have to work to keep that a light tone? Like, say you're depicting murder and mayhem and evisceration and also like when Blitzoff is cutting up those poor old mutants who just wanted to serve him the delicious doctor as dinner.
It wasn't really hard because that's just how I swing. Like, I just find it funny. So it came out funny. It's fucking terrible. But
there was a scene where he's chopping this mutant in half or whatever, and you think that's terrific, and the mutant just says something like, "Oh, we were gonna offer you the best bit, man," or something like that. It completely takes the sting out. So that's like a masterclass in exactly what Hippie is talking about. So you naturally do this.
Yeah, so it's like, Go
on, Baines.
I was going to say, like, my first thought when I read Hippie's thing was, like, it's about the stakes, maybe. Like, if the stakes are really high, it's more serious. But that's not really the case.
Too
like
rare? Are they too well done?
Exactly. Like, you have a rare steak, you're going to have, they're delicious, sure, but you're going to have heart problems. But, so they say. Or no, is that the charred steak that gives you problems? I don't know.
It's all
of it. It's all the steak, man. But anyway, like, it can even be, like, life and death and, like, violence, and, like, there can be, like, those kind of steaks.
Yeah.
And it can still be light,
I love a
light in
violent
tone.
steak.
It can still be light. It can still be heavy. It's kind of the tone is separate from that. And we kind of, in the other part, we were considering doing, like, about keeping it light. I thought it was kind of the question was answered by people. I don't want to spoil, but I think there's a way.
Like the people like you have contributed to the news post.
Not me. It was other people who answered it, for me at least, who I thought answered the question. I don't want to steal their thunder.
Well, we haven't got much time. We'll have to race through them if we read out any of their posts.
Okay. Do we leave a spoiler for next week?
No. I don't think this deserves a 3-part. But
No.
we can touch on it. Okay, so Hippie Van likes to keep her stuff light. So that's what she's basically saying. In her comic, she works to keep it light, and whenever she thinks things are getting too heavy, she takes it back to these dumb jokes, as she says, which is fair enough, and that's a good way of doing it. But
Yeah.
so the way these people have voted, Bravo is the first one. Baines, Bravo is the first one.
I feel that the best way... I'm not even on the page yet. I was just going to make something up, but get over there.
I am on the page, and I just took that completely.
All right, keeping it light. Hippie Van has a hilarious picture, by the way, on her post about keeping it light, with a character crying in the foreground saying, "My dog died," and then a dude in the background, like, stepping on a rake and getting smacked in the face in a comedic way. It's very funny. But anyway, I enjoyed that greatly. And Bravo says, keeping it light. All kinds of comedy works have used the distraction technique. It is even discussed on the making of featurettes on the Scary Movie and Hot Shots DVDs. Or make the great emotional monologue totally ridiculous, where the formative story of one's past is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Or ends with, let's all give one for the zipper, with the Notre Dame theme playing. Give the audience a familiar, evocative tale, but twist it with a punchline. Something totally out of left field and unexpected. So the audience laughs rather than cries. In this cynical, metatrope-savvy time, it's pretty easy to turn up the melodramatic schmaltz to an 11 and get the audience rolling rather than crying. And use Yiddish. A Yiddish word in the middle of a tearful monologue will get them every time. And he was such a Scots. He was such a Scots. He's using a Yiddish word, I guess. I don't know how to say it.
Putz is the normal one, which is more funny.
And my grandmother was run over by a schlemiel. Oh, it does work.
Yeah, distraction. That's a tried and true thing. I've drunken too much wine. Damn it. A tried and true technique.
Drunken.
Drunk.
The verb drunken.
I am drunken.
I mean to keep harping on that.
Too much. I'm a drunken idiot. That's a lot of American comedy is based on that. They have like very dramatic things and very silly things to sort of distract your attention away from them. And it makes it a lot funnier and sillier when, you know, characters are going through this terrible dramatic. I'm watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because this is the thing Baines recommended, and it's very funny. And they have horrific things happening in this, like a Mexican family captured by the lead characters with bags over their heads and their house destroyed and their possessions smashed. And
That's right.
It's still hilarious because of the way it's treated, you know, and these characters doing idiotic things. So even though they're doing something like they're literally like racially hating on these characters. That's how it is. But it's still hilarious because it's all unintentional and silly. So yeah, that's a good
so. How would you say? Like, how are they keeping it light? Like, how are you not horrified and sad?
Because the characters don't realize that they're doing this racial hatred stuff. They're completely oblivious to the fact that they are doing this awful stuff, and they're treating it like some, you know, they in their little own imaginary world. They're thinking they're doing an extreme makeover, so they're completely disassociated from what they're doing, which makes it hilarious.
Yes. Oh my god!
What was that?
Terrible noise.
Explosion.
Well, let's move on to Gene Joke. And Pitt, you can give us...
Wait. Where exactly are you reading this? Because I have run out of thread.
Oh, we have moved on to Hibby Van's news post on keeping it light, and I'll paste that in and give it to you in the notes.
Okay, thanks for the link. Finally.
I posted it earlier, but I think you didn't see it. So it's not my fault. Pete, do you want to give us your Gene joke? If you know where that is. Have you seen the link?
Is it towards the bottom there? Or is it just after Iron Scarf?
It is. Reach towards the bottom and feel around and you will find it.
Oh! He means in the online. Damn it. Will you stop it?
That's not a nipple, Pit. I know.
Curious fingers!
It rather resembles one, but it's not. So
horrible. Same.
Ginger. What do you want me to do, Gene joke? I don't know. Okay.
I think she's
who does Gene joke want to be done by? It should be up to Gene joke who does him.
All right, I'll do Gene joke, and you guys can do something else. Okay, here's Gene joke. He says, "It's fine. It's a fine line I've sought to balance with blood and water. I don't intend for it to be a comedy. It's a dramatic thriller. So I have to rely on the characters being funny or doing silly things. That makes sense within the context of the story. That is focused on two young men, and it helps as their banter carries it through some very dark material." Oh, very dark material, very dark indeed, involving blades and knives in the East End of London in the dark of night. and ladies at night. Oh, I got a bit carried away there. So yeah, that's Bravo's. Gene Joke's take on the whole thing.
Yeah. That would be black humor, wouldn't it?
That's a good point. Black humor, yeah. And we're not.
And
being
it's kind of the way the
there.
characters
We're not
behave.
being racist. Just Tans. She's the one who's being racist.
Yeah, she really does hate Italians a lot. But
Yeah.
I threw her under a bus. I'm sorry, Tans.
so he's talking about like the way the characters behave. They say things, they do things. The characters themselves to give relief from the darkness of the plot and everything.
Their dialogue, yeah, black humor, as Tans said. So something awful happens, and they're doing their funny dialogue, which distracts you from the fact that something awful is happening. It's like in American cop shows, the whole trope came to be like when the homicide detectives are witnessing some awful murder, they're casually eating hamburgers and talking about the sports team and what's for lunch, and which became
one guy's juggling.
Yes, exactly.
You've seen those cop shows. That's how they always do it.
Yeah, there's always a juggler.
He's wearing a silly clown thing like Patch Adams. He's wearing a clown nose. You've seen CSI. That's how they do it.
Yeah, exactly. Law and Order. That's the trope. I don't know why.
Honk! Honk! They have one of those little horns.
Exactly. All right, so next up we have Mr. Iron Scarf. So, Pitt, would you like to take on Iron Scarf?
I'll take him on.
Okay.
Come on, Baines. I knew it.
Me. All right.
There you go. I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Take on me.
Take Iron Scarf.
All right. It's a fine line I've sought to balance with blood and water. It sounds kind of
That's
nationalistic.
Gene Joke.
I don't intend for it to be a... Oh, Gigi. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, yes, you just read him. Fuck. Wait, are we going up?
Up.
Yeah. Going up.
What the hell are you doing? That's stupid.
Elevator
No,
going
it's
up.
not, because it starts at the bottom. Okay. No, that's right. You've got it. I'm sorry. I like to think that you can be deadly serious and have all kinds of off-the-wall humor going on at the same time. I'm not sure subscribers agree, as I'll tend to lose one or two when shifts from, say, violent action to polite cocktail party chit-chat. I'll stick with my recipe anyway, because life is not one or the other. It's a great big steaming gumbo of mirth and misery.
Yes. Delicious.
Steaming gumbo.
That's excellent.
Everyone laughs at the funeral. So.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, nobody. Everyone laughs here. Like, you have to actually...
Just agreed with
people
you,
that got the-
goddammit.
Oh, okay. I rest my case then. Okay.
Your Honor?
Yeah. It's hilarious. So, next up we have...
So Kim Luster is like, keeping it light. Yes, I have a little trouble with this.
I could have made that way sexier.
I was going to read that, and do my duty.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Tons.
We're trying to do it.
Yeah.
You sex it up.
What? No, it has already been read now.
Sorry.
All right, Tons, you do Bruno Harm.
Bruno Harm. Okay. This.
First.
I struggle with this all the time. So far, I've gone with a lot of jokes and also keeping the characters' emotions somewhat in check. I also have a fast pace, so there's a little bit of she's dead, but look over here. My current story is about a kidnapping, and I'm kind of going on a Home Alone approach. I'm always trying to avoid approach with high hilarious peaks and low emotional valleys.
Yeah, the MASH approach. Yeah,
That was
MASH.
a high prick.
MASH did that really weirdly. They had way too much emotion in that show. It was very like soap almost, wasn't it? A lot of American comedy.
I like
from
that.
era.
I like the way they did it.
What's that? Yeah,
Disagree with that one. I think actually they have a lot of black humor
they
for a
do.
lot of hard situations.
They do there because it's a war comedy, but American comedy from that time in general, all the way into the late 80s, was obsessed with the with drama comedy. You know, all their sitcoms were like that. You had like the
I don't think
famous,
that's necessary. I mean,
famous.
you
Good
say it like
Times,
it's
remember?
automatically a bad thing, though.
It-
And really, that's what made a lot of those shows more interesting to follow. I mean, it had those fluctuations.
Yeah.
If it was done like anything else, it's with the execution of the technique. So
That's true, but if you were looking for something to be a comedy and light, that's not what they were. They were very heavy. So yeah, it's
And sappy. And a lot of times it did work. I mean, I loved Family Ties back in the day.
yeah.
But it would often be like, it was like some of the characters were so funny, and then it would kind of be, sometimes it worked perfectly, and then sometimes it'd be a little bit hard to get through the sentimental thing at the end, or the lesson at the end, or whatever.
Good Times
But,
is a fantastic example of this. Have you ever seen Good Times?
No.
yeah,
Yeah, so with the famous character JJ Dynamite, you know him.
yeah. Oh, it's been ages, man.
So this was
Keeping my head above water.
that's it.
I know the song, I don't know the show.
Which was this comedy about this black family, you know, living in sort of, you know, keeping their heads above the poverty line, and it could be very funny, but it was so hugely dramatic. You know, it makes MASH look like a kids show. It was just so, you know, like, oh my God, my husband's been killed in a car accident. Oh, and the poor old mother, you know, she'd be
Oh my God, really?
trying to you know,
That's-
keep this whole family together.
Regularly?
And
Did that really happen on an episode?
Yes, it did happen.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Wow.
they'd be worried that the
What's, wait,
grandmother.
so are you saying the level of drama? Because it's two different things. I mean, all shows do that where they have some big thing happen. But like, if that's what they were doing regularly, then yeah, that would get a bit
yeah,
much.
Every
Like
week.
killing everybody's husbands and shit. Like, we need some more actors
A
because they're all
child
dead.
dies. Yeah. A major cast member dies on every episode.
the drama was heavy. You know, the grandmother would be eating dog food, and that
Oh my God.
and wasn't treated as a funny thing. That was, well, it was sort of, but it wasn't like, haha, she eats dog food. It was like, we're all going to have to eat dinner with her, and we're going to have to eat dog food too. And we're going to, because we don't want to be rude, and she's serving us all this meal.
Oh man.
So yeah, it was heavy stuff, and I don't
Maybe,
know. Go on.
yeah. Maybe that's a good thing, you know?
I don't know. Sometimes
That seems like that would make
too
an
heavy.
impact, man.
It can, but it's weird. It's a weird mix, you know. Having humor with
Yeah.
that amount of
It
drama.
can be pushed, yeah. Like it's almost, you know, one show
Sorry.
that does this a bit now that I don't like. I used to really love the show Bones back when it was about actually like solving murders and shit like that. And now, I mean, I still watch it, but like it seems that like there got a point where I think they were thinking about ending the show, but they didn't. And now they make up for it. But and when they came to that big ending, I forgot what happened, but like somebody died and like all this stuff happened. So now it's like they can't go back to just like how interesting it is to solve the cases and stuff and what they're doing. It's like they always have to keep adding in this melodrama. Something happens to somebody and the cases are just in the background. And I don't like that so much, man. And it's like, you know, it shouldn't be to the point where it takes away the interesting elements of the show.
Yeah, it's being unfaithful to its own genre, in a sense, to its own category of what kind of show it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
More than...
Moonlighting did the same thing kind of famously way back in the magical 80s. Well, they would start off and they were, woo, I can't do that. But okay, so this sort of really kind of fast-paced, like back and forth dialogue and this kind of bickering pair of PI partners, a man and a woman, and kind of she was kind of businesslike and he was kind of wacko, and they would have this great kind of back and forth and this kind of sexual tension under the surface and all this. And they'd have these kind of wacky cases, and they would sort of end with these like exciting / funny set pieces, like in the climax of the show. And then at one point, the show just went, it got so serious. Like they got together as a couple, and then it was all of their angst. Like they had sex, and then it was all about that, but the show didn't get rid of it when it wasn't working. They just kind of kept going. And it had them and their trauma and their angst. And it was, I remember being a kid watching it and loving it so much in the beginning, and then being like, what? Like, what did I just watch? Just going to bed, sad. It's like, it's so weird. Like, and the Myth Adventures series, the novels that I also loved when I was younger, got all serious too. They started off with these wacky comedic adventures, and then they got really maudlin, and the main character developed a drinking problem. And I was like, what? Like,
they just became us.
Exactly. So we followed that example. That's what happened in the Quackcast.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not going to get into the Myth Adventures one then. Bugger him.
Well, you can, because you got me, bro. I'll tell you when to stop.
Actually,
you can read the first 6 books, and they're fantastic.
But then it goes
and a satisfying ending. So you can just stop, and then it's a satisfying little confection.
That reminds me of, we have like a very famous children's book author that she lived like just before World War II, and just to give you an idea of what's coming, she committed suicide as the occupation was beginning. So anyway, she had this depressive attitude. Like, she had this awesome book about a dog. It was like a Look Who's Talking, but through the dog's perspective. We looked at the story of a whole family through a dog, and it was so funny, and all the shenanigans that the boy of the family was getting into with the dog were awesome and stuff. And then suddenly it takes this really black turn in the second book. And from all the funny child adventures, you know, at school, at the yard, or at the playground and things like that, you get the older brother getting into some kind of really shady stuff, and then in the end everybody dies, including the dog.
Oh my god!
She literally just she table flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She table flipped her own story. Fuck this shit.
Yeah. Probably, right? Probably like personal life bad. She was like disillusioned.
Yeah, it was like if you see when she wrote the second book, it was like she had this affair with a political figure, and that political figure got assassinated, and then she was forced to marry some other guy. Like, her story is like a melodrama. And then you know that when around that time, it's when she wrote the second book, and she kills every fucking body, everyone, and it traumatized all the kids ever, because somehow it's still considered the children. So the kids start off reading the first book, which is awesome, and then they get, you know, really buying for the second one, and then you're done. You get slapped with the second one, like, oh,
there you are.
Life.
If she had only been around till 2016, she could have read through this thread by,
She could have corrected.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
she just had to wait for us.
It would be the second time through the eyes of a dog. Yes.
She would have kept it light. Probably the German occupation wouldn't have happened. She would have energized the whole Greek population.
And
That's what happens if you don't keep it light. You change the tone and you ruin it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're destroying the world.
You never know how bad it can get. Well, we have.
All right, who's next? Go on. Who's next?
Oh well, I suppose we should do one more or two more. We have used books.
I don't know.
Used books. Baines, I think it's about your turn, don't you?
All right, I agree, don't I?
Uh-huh.
And I think this is the post that I believed answered the question of how do you keep it light. I think used books answered it, at least for me. It made sense. She says, I tried that. I fail harder every year. But honestly, no matter how serious the conflict, it's the reaction of the characters that sets the tone. A really optimistic protagonist will feel the pain and drama, but recovers quickly and provides strength to his or her companions. If they feel nothing, they are callous anti-heroes, but those can keep it light too. One of the best examples of serious storylines kept light mood by sheer strength of character is Steven Universe. Steven is the most light-hearted protagonist, and he lifts the mood brilliantly without ever becoming shallow or callous. He has a very, this was terrible, but we're still here, and that's awesome, let's have pizza attitude. That was all in quotes, the attitude. This was, quote, this was terrible, but we're still here, and that's awesome, let's have pizza.
That's sort of what they do.
I like that show a lot. It's cute.
That's sort of what they do in
It's unique. I really like it.
Oh, I was just going to say, this is sort of what they do in Rick and Morty, but it's darker. Way, way darker.
Yes, that's a good example. But then the reaction of the, she's saying that it's how the characters react and how the characters behave that actually sets the tone. I thought that was like right on the money. That's what it is, And with, Pitface's Weird Adventures of Armless Blitzov, same kind of thing, Or definitely Putrid Meat. Like the tone is set. And with Tanz's too, the more serious tone is sort of like by the characters, like how the characters behave, how they react, how they approach. You have your more serious tone or your lighter tone. It made sense to me, like how else would you do it,
Yeah. Excellent.
Sorry
to
exhaust you there with that diatribe.
Bore me, Baines. Bore me.
God, that Baines, he never shuts up.
Drones on and on, I know. It's horrible.
It's like, when is it over?
Yeah, has he stopped talking yet? All right.
No.
Yeah, good point.
Oh.
No, that was
See, I can only screw with you for so long because you're actually you're lovable. Oh. And then even if I'm like a stupid fucking Baines, even if I'm playing, well, I would be playing, but even then I feel 2 minutes later, I could do that with Oz and I don't feel so bad. With you, I'm like, wait a minute. I think that just made me kind of an asshole, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's got those big, expressive anime eyes, so that's the thing,
He does. He's like a big puppy dog.
These Baines' eyes, they get sort of very wide and watery, and then stare up at you and think, "Oh God,
hey, get off of there! That's smiling. Get off."
No, you can't have any.
No.
Human dinner, Baines. This isn't yours. Yours comes out of the can. Come on.
Eat the dog food with Grandma from Good Times.
Oh, God, that's beautiful. Well, should we go into the rest of these? Or, we don't have really much time. We could race through them. All right, let's just do them. Damn it.
We don't have to do mine. I'm just reacting. reacting to it.
We're
skip me.
committed here. We'll do Baines' first one. No matter how.
No, we can. I just said we could skip that, man. I'm just kind of responding to Pitface. I sort of say like, I agree with used books about the characters, and another way would be to have a comedic B story and lighten the mood that way.
Okay.
And I just sort of said what I already said in the Quackcast.
All right. Hippie Vein says, at Usebox, I'll have to check that out. The site usually did a good job of keeping things light despite constant murders, but they used a shallow narcissistic protagonist to do it, man. It works, but it's not the direction every story can or should take. Iron Scarf, in my opinion, your writing style lends itself really well to a good balance of the two. And by of the two, I mean serious and comedic. Iron Scarf, you do that so well, man. I just love it how you do it. So, his books replies to Hippie. Should we have a reply?
Yeah.
All right. Can't dance to his books.
Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up and see exactly where that is. Is it the one used book replies, right? I love Who Done It Shows, this one.
Yes.
That one.
Okay. I love Who Done It Shows, but I'm super picky about tone. I need it realistic, but light. Police procedurals usually suck at that. Monk was a good one for a light tone, and Castle was great at it, except for season finales. Their finales sucked so hard that tone, I stopped watching for a while. It's really jolting when you are accustomed to clever and funny and get slapped with no relief drama. Miss Fisher is okay too.
Miss Fisher's Mysteries. Yes. An Australian 1920s drama. Mm-hmm. All right, so next up we have Baines, and he doesn't want us to read out his very clever, amazingly incisive, just scalpel like cutting genius.
It's all there for posterity online. You can look it up.
Barred us from that.
Follow me on Chirper.
We're not allowed. This has been redacted. We're not allowed to read Baines's genius posts.
Redacted tonight. I already said it all anyway.
You guys haven't got clearance, I'm afraid. That's above top secret, so you'll have to read that online. So sorry.
Or just listen to what I said 5 minutes ago.
Or listen to
what I said 5 minutes ago.
Pathetic summary of this genius post.
I said I agreed with the character thing or having a comedic story. Also said it might be about pacing. Moving on after the feelings are sort of established before, because Hippie Van talked about not wanting to be wallowing in emotion in her stories.
Yeah.
So to move on quickly enough, like figuring out your pacing of your story, which is always a tough call, to give it the weight it's supposed to have emotionally and then when to move on,
There you go. I mean, that was intellectual. That was like something a professor of professorial stuff in a university or.
All right, you're laying it on a little bit thick. Let's keep going. Yeah.
That was well done. Okay. Well, last off we have used books. Okay, Pitt, you can finish us off with used books.
Ow!
Okay.
Oh.
That's not what we meant.
It's not a used book?
No, it's not a used book.
Not the right kind of used book.
Jesus, Murphy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget the comic relief. If it's not your protagonist, it's usually a friend or a secondary character. You can get comic reliefs on the antagonist end of things too. Maybe a particularly likable or fun-loving henchman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Team Rocket. They're fantastic henchmen. Everyone loves Team Rocket and their idiotic shenanigans and Meowth. That's right. They mess everything up. It's good to have fun-loving henchmen, you know, or what's his name in Batman, the original Batman series, with the Joker, who was hilarious with his henchman.
Uh-huh.
Is that Cesar Romero?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only
But funny, goofy villains. Yeah.
That one. That's the only thing I know.
Batman! Batman!
They all had weird henchmen though in that series.
Yeah.
Not just the Joker. Like they all that was like your thing. You had to have at least some weird like.
They're all the same
cronies.
henchmen, but in different outfits.
Maybe. Same company of actors.
The repertoire. Repertoire.
We actually have one more post from Udyr. Udyr. Udyr.
Paris.
Uterus?
Paris. That's how you say it.
Exactly.
Actually, I should be nice. You did a really good page swap with me. You did very well.
Oh, I gotta
So,
see that.
I'm not going to call him Udyr. Yeah.
All right, do your...
He does Sweets and Giggles.
He?
Does, of course, Torn Vines. I remember that. I think that was featured.
Yes.
Another
What are
comic
those?
called Extinct. So Udyr does a bunch of comics. Good stuff, man. And Udyr says, I don't think it's bad with sad stuff. It makes the comics more interesting, as long as it waits out with something nice as well. I struggle with keeping things dark. I end up doing stupid jokes here and there, but in a way, that's the type of stories I like doing. A mix of both.
Oh,
Yeah.
that post just...
I think he made it
happened.
today. Yeah, I just made it
I
now.
had to reload the page because that wasn't there. Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that, Udyr.
Yeah, it's a call-in show now. It's live.
Yes. Oh, well, brilliant. We got through them all. Fantastic, guys. Thank you very much for being part of Quackcast 288, Evoking Emotion, The Revenge. of the
Yes.
Sith.
a little extra section on keeping things light or dark or tone questions.
Keeping
Medium rare.
You squeeze your finger to get you use your different fingers to notice how your steak is going to feel. You guys know that system? You ever heard of that?
Fingering
What?
the meat.
Fingering
Do you know
your meat?
Is that what
fingering?
you're saying, Baines? Fingering the meat.
Oh, good Lord. So you anyway, well next week we'll talk about how to organize your steak cooking.
Yes,
It's becoming a cooking show next week.
cooking show. I'm using my fingers again here.
Air quote.
Okay. This has been Quackcast 288, Evoking Emotion. Number 2. Alright, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.